AM 1230 WJOB. You are listening to the voices of some great, charming young ladies from Austria, a part of the group Study Exchange. And we are very happy to have these folks in the studio with us. And Rocharda Moore-Morris is also here as well, and sharing some knowledge and culture about this great group from Rotary International. Rocharda, back to you.
You know, in your presentation, you also talked about some of your history with famous people that come from Austria. I think the audience may be able to put some of the dots together when you mention some of the names.
So, I mean, something which is maybe interesting for Americans is that Austria has a really long history. So Austria was first mentioned in 1996 AD, so which means that we really have a long history, and we had this big Habsburg dynasty, which means it was a very important dynasty during the centuries in Austria, and there were many important emperors. I'd just like to mention the emperor Franz Josef and his wife Sissi. Maybe you heard of them. They lived in the late 1800s in Austria, and Austria at this point of time was really a big and important empire in Europe. But other very important and probably well-known people in Austria are, for example, Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, a famous composer who lived in the 18th century. I think everybody of you knows him. He was very important and he lived in Salzburg. Maybe more recent important people in Austria are Arnold Schwarzenegger, the governor. I suppose you also know him.
I want to mention that we don't only preserve nature, but also art and architecture. In Austria, you can experience architectural buildings from over 800 years. And we really pay attention to it and try to keep it for the next generations. I want to mention one important artist, Gustav Klimt. He was living at the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century, and was living in Vienna, and perhaps you know one of his most famous painting, The Kiss. And Katharina has already spoken about music. Perhaps the guys on the radio know the New Year's concert at the 1st of January every year. The Viennese Philharmonic Orchestra performs this lovely concert.
Something I would also like to point out is, because you were talking about the environment, that we really appreciate the high quality of water we have in Austria. So this is something I personally really appreciate, that our water has drinking quality and you can drink the water from the tap. And I think this is, especially when you go to other countries, this is something you really appreciate, that you can really just turn on the tap and drink the water.
A good many things that we take for granted, I think.
Yeah.
Too many times, indeed. Thank you. But very, very incisive comment, indeed. Rocharda?
Julius, would you talk a little bit about the one day a week that the young people have to spend in their vocation and how that's arranged?
I don't.
Where they go and work in their area of training.
Oh, okay.
Make sure
in this area here in Indiana.
In Indiana.
Okay. I see. Well, you see that we have 4 different professions. Our members, the girls or the young ladies, for example, kindergarten teaching. She leads a kindergarten. So she visited schools, elementary schools, kindergartens, Montessori, and other institutions to have a few insight. And Susan is an interpreter. She is, I think, very interested in bureaucracy, administration on the one hand, the court, and how do you translate, for example, for immigrants and so on. So we had some visits as far. And Theresia, she is the specialist for museums, of course. She is in the marketing of a big holding for some museums in the province of Tyrol. And there were some highlights like the Studebaker Museum and so on, and also the libraries in Fort Wayne and in South Bend. This was very interesting. I think we could learn a lot because you see, sometimes always you say what you can do it better, and this I think we take. You have such a lot of things which is very interesting for us. And I think this is the right way to do in this group exchange. And Catherine, she is a senior audit in a very big audit company. I'm not allowed to mention the name, I think so here, isn't it? But it's Ernest Young. And she has spent a lot of time in an audit company in South Bend and in Fort Wayne, and so we learn a lot. And for myself, I spent an afternoon in the Indiana, Michigan Pauer company. I visited Maxim, a big oil company, and I talked with Rick from Route 66 gas station. So it's always something interesting what we can learn.
I would say let's go around and start here. What would you say would be the number one thing that you've learned so far on this exchange?
Actually, it's the first time that I'm here in the United States. So when I first arrived, all things were really new. I think I will take many impressions respecting how your cities are, the wideness of your country, the good food, the really nice people. And actually, I have decided already to come back soon to the United States.
Pardon me for 1 second, folks. We do have a question from one of our callers, which I'll get on the air right now. Hank, is that you, my friend? You're live on the air. Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Yes, it is. I'm enjoying the program. I have one question to the group. Your language skills. What kind of different languages and how many years do you take certain languages? And because I'm always impressed by the European educational system.
Thank you very
I'll
much.
hang up and then you okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Hank.
Hello, I would like to answer this. We start learning English rather early. We start at the age of 8 already in a more playful way, but then at the age of 10 you really start having English at school, and you have it until the age of 18 if you go to high school, so 8 years of English. And then you have the possibility at 13 to take another language. For me that was Latin. And at 15 I started with French, and I had Spanish at university. So we start early, and I think one of the reasons for this is that we're a small country and it's really easy for us to leave the borders, and then we have to communicate with other people. So I think that's the main difference with the US, because you don't need languages as much as we do.
Well, the main difference between us and you is because you speak English, we talk American. Good morning, everybody. You speak English better than we do. I really mean that. Yeah, truly. Go right ahead, young lady. Yes.
I think another reason why we have to learn many languages is that German is only speaking in a very limited amount of countries. So if we want to talk to many people around the world, we just have to learn other languages because it's the only possibility for communication. And something I really appreciate here is how warm all people around here are, and how nicely we are treated by everybody, even though we've only known them for a few days. And this is something I really appreciate. And so, I mean, even if there are differences in languages and culture, all of us are people, and I think we really appreciate, everybody is appreciating us and our differences in culture. This is something I really enjoy a lot here.
That's wonderful to hear. Yes, sir.
Yes, can I mention with one thing? We are very thankful for the Marshall Plan you did for us after World War II.
Uh-huh.
Young people don't know it now and forgot it or never have heard about. But it's just was a remembrance in our country that after World War II, it was really the help of the American citizens and the American government to push up again after this terrible war. And this helped us really a lot to have new standards, to get new technology. Now we are on the same level sometimes as you are, but this helped us a lot. Thanks, all Americans.
Of course, that was a world war.
Yes.
The entire world was
Yes.
involved in that.
Yes.
And
but it was a wonderful, peaceful idea to
absolutely.
do this. Yeah.
in the final analysis, my friend, it is yours, mine, and ours.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Rocharda, we've got about 4 or 5 minutes left. If you'd like to wrap up with any closing thoughts at all, or say hi to anyone if you have plans on being a Hollywood star one of these days, of course, go right ahead, please.
What I take back is what I take back from the US is really that you can never say the Americans are like that or something like that, because in Europe we tend to hear some things and then we have a general impression, but you really need to go to a country and meet the people, and everybody is different, and even if political views differ, you still can like each other, and you still can communicate, so it's really the individual that counts.
Absolutely.
And it was for me again a great experience, improving my my personality. And what I do take back is what I heard of a host, that giving treasure, talent, and time. We're all we're all part of the world. We're all living on the planet, and we just have to help each other out. And that's what I really feel, that this giving talent, treasure, and time is something what everybody can do. And I really like that. So thank you, Rotary, for giving us this possibility.
I think in wrap up, the only thing that I think Linda, myself, and Tom would like to relay to the Northwest Indiana community is that these opportunities are available to our young professionals that live in our community. And when the announcements come out, we'd like for you to apply because it is an experience. It broadens your horizons. It develops friendships that you may not have had. It fosters an understanding of other cultures, and that's one of the basic points of Rotary. And we're so proud that you're here to visit with us. And I have to say, I'm really proud of Tom Donovan, our incoming president, because it takes a lot to take a day off from your company to be involved in this endeavor. And he had to do quite a bit. And not only Tom, but also Tom's wife will be the host this afternoon for this team. And with that, as always, WJOB, we really thank you for the opportunity.
I would like to very much thank Rotary International for a wonderful program here. Julius, Rocharda, Tom, and Linda Randolph, thank you so much for mentoring these beautiful young ladies who in turn obviously have a passion for what you do. It's contagious, and I know that you're going to continue in your teaching endeavors. Indeed, and you will in turn pass along these wonderful ideas and ideals to your students. And that is such a wonderful thing amidst all the bad news in the world. It is such a wonderful thing and a heartwarming thing to see people with passion in their heart for what they do, wanting to make a difference in the world. This is fantastic. Julius, thank you so much for your partners, my friend. This has been fantastic.
Thank you for hospitality.
And Rocharda, thank you very much.